Hey guys, it's Aaron from Key of Aaron. Today I'll be giving a guitar lesson on the song Low High by the Black Keys. And we'll go through a few rhythm parts and lead parts that happen within the song. If you need to skip to a certain section of the song or a certain section of the lesson, look in the description below and you can find some timestamps down there. I'll also put some external links that can give you a little bit more of a grasp on the scales that are being used in the song or the rhythms that are being used. And I'll be using an Egnator Rebel 30 for my main sound, with the gain pretty high up. I'll put the settings, a screenshot of the settings somewhere around here. And I'll also be using a banana effects pedal to give a sort of octave effect to the sound. And I'll put that somewhere over here also. So hope you enjoy the lesson. We're going to start off with the main riff of the song. This song is in the key of C, with the relative being an A minor. And with the riff in the intro, we'll be using positions 4, which is so that's position 4, and we're going to mix that in with position 5. Both pentatonic scales. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with position 4 and then shift into position 5 on that 5th string. So we're going to go over the notes and the finger placements within this mixture of the 4th position and 5th position pentatonic scales. It's good to pay attention to the fingering of this scale, because when you put it into your riff, it's going to be a lot more efficient and a lot more comfortable to play. So we have G on the 3rd fret of the 6th string with your 1st finger. Go over to A, same string, 3rd finger on the 5th fret. Next string would be the 5th string, 3rd fret with your 1st finger, that would be a C. Going on to the 5th fret of that same string with your 3rd finger, giving you D. Sliding your 3rd finger up to 2 frets up to E. Next string, 4th string, put your 1st finger on the 5th fret and you're going to get a G. Same string, use your 3rd finger to get to the 7th fret and that gives you A. Next string, 5th fret, 1st finger, and that gives you a C. And then you're going to use your 3rd finger 2 frets away, which would land you on the 7th fret, same string, and this will be a D note. Next string, 1st finger on the 5th fret, that'll give you an E. And then 4th finger on the 8th fret, which gives you a G. And then last string, which is your 1st string, 5th fret with your 1st finger, you're going to get an A. And then 4th finger on the 8th fret, which gives you a C. So now incorporating that scale we just went over into the riff, what we're going to do is we're going to have an 8th note run that's going to go up the scale. 8th notes are 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, so you're playing a little bit faster than the normal 1, 2, 3, 4. You have an extra hit in between all that. So you're going to go from G, the lowest G of that scale pattern, G, A, and then next string C, D, E, next string to G, and then A, back to G, back to A, and then back to G. Then you're going to hit the C on the 5th fret of the 3rd string on beat 2, and then A on the 7th fret of the 4th string on beat 3. So you put that together and this is what you have. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. verse part, which uses power chords. So with power chords, you're going to find your root note, which I'll tell you what your root note is for each part of the verse. In this case, I'm just going to do A on the 5th fret of the 6th string. And then to form the power chord, you're going to use your 3rd finger, go 2 frets up and 1 string down, put your 3rd finger there. So you have this. If you want to add a little bit more bite to it, you can add your 4th finger on the same fret as your 3rd finger, but 1 string below. It's all preference. If you want a wider sound, use that version of the power chord. If you want a more tight sound, use just the 2 fingers, 1st and 3rd. So the verse we'll mostly use in A chord, an A power chord, just like what we did right there. So the rhythm within the first measure is going to land on beat 1, beat 2, the and of 3, and the and of 4. So this is what that'll sound like. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. And then on the second measure, you're going to stay on A. You're going to play on the and of 1. So 1, and. On the beat 3 and beat 4, you're going to move on to a D power chord, starting on the 5th fret of the 5th string. So 3. And then you're going to hit your C power chord on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. 4. So this is what it'll sound like together. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. And that repeats throughout the whole verse. The chorus part uses a mixture of lead and rhythm. So first we're going to go over the lead part. You're going to be starting on D on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. And on beat 1, you're going to bend that a whole step. On the and of 1, you're going to release that bend. So we have 1 and. On beat 2, you're going to go down to C on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. Then on the and of 2, you're going to go back to D. And then you're going to go back to C on beat 3. And this is what that'll sound like. 1, 2, ready, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Then you're going to go to the rhythm part, which goes to G on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. And you're going to play that on the and of 1. You're going to play it on 2 and the and of 2. So this is what you have. 1, 2, ready, and 1, and 2, and. Then on the and of 3, you're going to play the A power chord, which starts on the 5th fret of the 6th string. So 3, and. Put your 2 power chords together, and this is what you have. 1, 2, ready, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So then let's put that together with your lead part. So 1, 2, ready, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So for the second time, you're going to do the same thing with your lead part. So 1, and 2, and 3, 4. But when you go to the rhythm, you're going to start on G again, and you're going to hit it on 1 and 2. And then on the and of 2, you're going to go up to A. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so we put that whole thing together, the whole chorus part. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The solo part of the song will be using the position 3 pentatonic scale, and I'll go over that briefly before we start. So first you're going to start with your first finger on the 12th fret of the 6th string, which will give you an E. Fourth finger on the 15th fret of that same string gives you a G. Then first finger on the 12th fret of the 5th string, giving you an A, 15th fret of that same string with your 4th finger gives you a C, and then first finger on the 12th fret of the 4th string, giving you a D. Then you're going to go to the 14th fret of that same string with your 3rd finger. That's an E note. And then a next string, first finger on the 12th fret, giving you a G. Then 14th fret with your 3rd finger, A. Then with your 2nd finger, you're going to go to the 13th fret of the 2nd string, and that gives you a C. Then 4th finger on that same string, 15th fret, giving you a D. First finger on the 12th fret of the 1st string, giving you an E. And then 4th finger on that same string on the 15th fret, giving you a G. So I'm going to split this into different phrases. There's a total of 4 different phrases. So the first phrase is going to start on your D note on the 15th fret of the 2nd string. What you're going to do is you're going to bend that and release it, just like with the chorus part, on 1 and the and of 1. So 1 and. Then on 2, you're going to move down to C. And then on the and of 2, you're going to go back to D. And then on the 3, you go back to C. So together, this is what that phrase sounds like. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. The second phrase will start with your 2nd finger on the A on the 14th fret of the 3rd string. Normally you'll be playing that A note with your 3rd finger within the scale, but just to make it comfortable and easy to kind of go down this melody, it's best to use the 2nd finger. So we're going to hit A on the and of 1. So 1 and. On the and of 2, we're going to go to G with our 1st finger on the 12th fret of the same string. So 2 and. And then on 3, you're going to go back to A with your 3rd finger this time. On the and of 3, you're going to go to C on the 2nd string, 2nd finger, on the 13th fret. So putting that together, just phrase 2, this is what you have. 1, 2, ready, and 1, and 2, and 3, and. Then you're going to repeat phrase 1, so 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Your third phrase is going to start on G with your 3rd finger on the 15th fret of the 1st string, and you're going to do a full bend, and that's going to be on the and of 1. So 1 and then on the and of 2, you're going to release the bend and pick G again. So put those 2 together, and this is what you have. 1, 2, ready, and 1, and 2, and. On beat 3, you're going to have a pre-bend, so you bend it before you pick the note, and then you pluck it, release, and then on the and of 3, you play that note again, so the G note. And now on beat 4, you're going to go to E, which is your 1st finger on the 12th fret of the 1st string. So putting all that together into your third phrase, this is what you have. 1, 2, ready, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Then you're going to repeat phrase 1, repeat phrase 2, and then repeat phrase 1. And then your fourth phrase is the same as phrase 3, but you're going to stop at the 2nd G bend, and you're going to hold it out. So you get this. Ready, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. You can do a little vibrato there if you want to kind of just add some style to it. So putting all those phrases together into the lead solo, this is what we have. 1, 2, ready, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, was helpful. Hope you had fun learning Low-Hi by the Black Keys. And if you liked the video, please consider liking or subscribing. If you have any comments or questions, please comment below. And I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Plug my ears.